Hello, and thank you for joining us on this webinar. I'd like to introduce myself. I am AJ Lee. I'm the sales director for pharmaceutical healthcare products across North America for Coesia. Coesia is a industry-leading company in factory automation and packaging technologies, covering multiple brands. And we're really excited to showcase some really exciting trends in the industry. So I have with me Stephen Robinson from GF. Stephen, want to give a quick introduction of yourself?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, AJ. Hello, I'm Stephen Robinson, sales engineer for GF in the USA market. Our company has 40 years of experience in the automated pharmaceutical equipment industry with a main focus on aseptic filling and inspection of injectable containers. With the help of our parent company, GD, we have been able to make advancements in new developments such as precision handling of components. And that has led us into getting into this newer market of auto injectors and medical devices.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that's what we're here for, is the rise of self-injectable markets. We should probably start with some market context, but the self-injectable market in the pharmaceutical sector is absolutely booming right now. I think according to a few research and markets, it's projected around $67.3 billion by 2035, over 10% annual growth, and there's several projections and reasons, that are lining up with that. What do you feel is driving that?
Well, several things. First, we're seeing a huge increase in the ways to address chronic conditions like diabetes and autoimmune disorders. But also, more patients want the convenience of home treatment, especially with GLP-1 and biologics. It's really transforming how pharma companies manufacture and distribute products.
Yeah, exactly. This shift creates a kind of a new dynamic where these manufacturers of pharmaceutical products are not just delivering and focusing to healthcare professionals and healthcare settings, but they're reaching patients directly with products that normally would have been handled in a clinic are now right in their home. And that really creates a whole new layer of complexity, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. When you're dealing with a self-injectable, the packaging, instructions, and device usability all have to be foolproof. You're kind of relying
Mhm.
on the person at home to be able to do it themselves and not rely
Mhm.
on the professionals. And so that's where automation can really help streamline consistency and compliance at these factories where the auto injectors are being assembled.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're seeing this across a broad range of applications, right? I mean, you've mentioned the GLP-1 drugs, but it's seen showcase across a range of new biologic treatments and potentially even some existing drug profiles, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So using from what has historically been used, typically in the doctor's offices, but with new drugs coming out and really the uncertainty of what will come out in the next few years,
Hmm.
what's in development and what people will be wanting to use at home. Really important to be able to adapt quickly for those changes that are coming.
Hmm. Well, let's dig into the manufacturing challenges a little bit. Stephen, what are companies running into when they're trying to produce, a new product delivery like this or a broader range of this style of delivery?
Yeah, flexibility is a huge challenge. With smaller, more targeted drug runs becoming the norm, facilities need machines that can easily switch between formats.
Hmm.
Downtime kills productivity, so the ability to adapt quickly is essential. When it comes to large-scale pharmaceutical manufacturing, typically there's one generic size. You kind of know what you're going to get, high volume runs. And so therefore, in the past, the machines were built to kind of handle one format, maybe one or two. And so as we kind of develop towards the future and with always adapting medications in the smaller batches, it's key that the operators of those machines can quickly change out and adapt and even add uh, processes that the machine would need to do.
And so that's where the PAM comes in, right?
Yes, exactly. The PAM, or the Pharma Assembly Machine, is designed specifically to handle high-speed assembly of self-injection pens and similar medical devices. Let me show you a video of the PAM in operation.
All right, now that we have the video up, can you just walk through a little bit of some of the methodology and the technology we're using in this?
Yeah, certainly. What makes it different from some of the other suppliers is a compact footprint and versatility. It works on a single track robotic system, which allows for precise, repeatable movements and makes it easy to reconfigure without a complete layout overhaul. So here we see different holders moving from process to process. The infeed can be from trays or conveyor, picking it up with the end effectors into the platforms. As we're moving it along, each individual platform can change speed and how many stop at each process. We can also kind of include with fillers, electrical components, labeling. Here we're assembling four different components: the top, the middle, the container with the drug, and the cap. And within each of these processes, every application that we do also includes a quality check. That could include a weight check, that can include a camera vision check, that can be many different things to make sure that every process is done correctly. We can also include a reject system for each individual process so that we don't have to reject the complete final assembly at the end. We just reject the components that don't meet the quality standards.
And so what we're seeing here is, this is a bit of a demonstration piece, but each one of these red modules we're seeing could be tailored to the specific need of the specific pharma assembly mechanism, correct?
Exactly. So each one of these are built by us and designed. So as the customer would like to add more pieces or different size pieces, different ways of connecting them together, those can be adjusted and modified and added. And so we're going to do assembly into assembly uh, in parallel or perpendicular.
Yeah, with inspection all along the way.
That's
So
right.
if, essentially, pharma companies can scale and kind of diversify the offering and quick changeover batches without completely gutting their existing infrastructure.
Yeah, and a lot of these parts are toolless changeovers. So it's very quick
Mhm.
to take parts out and put them back in if they're doing a high variety of different products.
Yeah. Yeah, with this kind of modular animated approach, it's really critical to be able to handle that. And another major concern, in the pharmaceutical space is safety, of course, both in the manufacture but also self-administering injections. How are manufacturers keeping quality consistent with safety being at the utmost?
Well, it really starts on the line. Modern automation includes built-in quality checkpoints, vision systems, reject systems, inline inspections, all of which flag potential issues in real time. For example, sensors might detect a misaligned needle cap or improper cartridge assembly before a device is boxed and shipped.
Yeah. And what about the data? We know that as we're getting into the digital world, that's a critical component as well.
Yeah, great point. So data management is huge. Advanced machines now integrate with MES software to track each unit down to its component. This traceability is a game changer, not just for compliance, but for performance monitoring,
Mhm.
predictive maintenance, and reducing waste. And when you combine that with predictive analytics, you're creating a proactive environment instead of a reactive one. Our machines always follow 21 CFR Part 11 and CGMP. These days, the facilities always want the most amount of data so they kind of can track, can expect what might go down, um, can see total batch records and everything else to know what to expect in the future.
So this is not just automating, you're actually creating smart assembly lines itself, correct?
Yes, correct. Yes.
And that of course extends through this assembly, but it can also be tied in with other technology up and down. I know Coesia offers a lot of technology in both, the GF filling and inspecting upstream of this, but also looking at downstream, secondary, and tertiary packaging. Do you see this kind of connecting a lot of those functions together from a data standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with the data sharing and management with a complete line, It helps quite a lot. So if you are seeing a consistent defect or some kind of error that's happening often, you can track it back to where that was first created. You got to fix the problem and not just keep rejecting products that you may be able to fix.
Hmm.
So with it coming from the filling, the assembly, and the packaging as one complete line, really gives the operator the full control that they need for to have the end result of having a quality product out the door.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about what's next, Stephen. Where do you see automation and, specifically this self-injectable market heading in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I think we're going to see even more integration between medical devices and digital health. So think
Hmm.
about smart pens that log dosing data, connected apps, real-time adherence tracking. From a manufacturing perspective, this means lines need to be flexible enough to adapt to these tech-forward features.
Yeah. Do you see that happening outside of the pen market in other areas of pharmaceuticals as well, whether that's, I guess, drug delivery and med devices or kits or other?
Yeah, I think so. And no one wants to replace their entire machine portfolio every few years. So they need to have equipment that's ready to adapt to those
Yeah.
changes.
Okay, so it really seems like while the self-injectables and particularly the GLP-1s are really driving a lot of volume and change, it's driving changes within the business that we're going to see ripple throughout the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be changes with everything relating to the drug
Hmm.
production and getting it into some kind of container to be delivered to the patients.
Yeah, and I guess if companies invest now in module future-proof automation, they're going to be in that better position to tackle that market in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, and if your system can be updated and adapted, you're in a much stronger place to weather market shifts and to innovate when opportunity strikes.
Mhm. So, kind of getting towards some final thoughts, do you have any advice for pharmaceutical companies or medical device companies looking to enter or expand into this space?
Yeah, I think the key is to look for OEM partners who understand both pharma regulations and modern automation. When it comes to something like an auto ejector, the pieces themselves might not be considered pharmaceutical. They're not, aseptic and typically what you would see with the vial itself. But in the pharma industry, it's very important to meet the same quality standards. And to not chase speed alone, you got to go for precision, flexibility, and data readiness. That's how you scale efficiently and safely.
Yeah, and I think that kind of echoes something you said earlier when we're seeing, obviously the rise in the GLP-1s is creating a need for a, a higher speed, higher volume, but we're still seeing a lot of advancements in the very low batch biologics. The common thread between the two is that quality, it's maintaining good use of the materials, both the pharmaceutical doses and the materials itself. And so it really is a matter of making sure you're chasing the right goal, which usually is quality first with the right size production thereafter, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And really, I mean, it's about from the marketing side, you got to listen to the customers. You got to listen to your end users. Patients want control, convenience, and confidence. They need to know that the product they're using is absolutely bulletproof and easy to use, that they can manage that at home without having to go to the clinic and add that logistics to their day. If your product and packaging make them feel empowered, I think that that's a huge competitive edge, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. I think consumers want something that they, especially if they're going to inject it into their body, to know that it's a quality product, that they can trust it, that they don't have
Mhm.
any concerns about maybe something that could be bad for them or a low quality product.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you giving us this information, Steve, and I think it's been very exciting and it's very interesting to see what's happening and where things are moving to. I think for the greater audience, really thank you for joining us today. I hope this conversation brings some light into how automation is really changing in the space. At this time, I think we'd like to maybe open it up for a few questions and answers and see if there's any specific questions we can address.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys so much for joining. Feel free to reach out to us at info.it or Coesia.com if you want to learn more about how automation can fit into your operations.
Well, thank you again, Stephen, for really sharing us with us this great information, great understanding of where the market's driving and the technology is going through. It does look like we've got a couple questions that maybe you and I can talk through and you can and give some answers to. First one is asking, do you see any differences in the needs of primary pharmaceutical companies compared to CDMOs or co-packers in this space?
Yeah, there are a lot of similarities, but some differences would be the bigger pharmaceutical companies would be the ones developing the drug, more aligned to the size and volume of the container with the product, and really the way to administer that product through it, what kind of autoinjector to do. Where the CDMO would be more on the side of needing quick changeovers, really need to adapt to different kind of products that would come in and needed by the market itself.
Yeah, and so kind of bouncing off of that, the way you kind of described the PAM to us, I think we kind of, this kind of technology allows that because we can use different modules for different runs without changing over the machine, and even potentially changing out modules. Is that correct?
Yeah, and so the kind of creation of this machine has been over 10 years through quick assembly. We've done many things up to 20 different processes in one machine with our
Mhm.
parent company. Some of the processes would be gripping a component, folding. We've done welding of small electronics. We can do sterile filling, linking directly into the assembly. We've also done labeling inside on each individual component. We also do tape application and cutting it. Really, what's exciting about this platform is that we're really looking forward to what the customer might bring to us next and always
Mhm.
adapt it and modify it to meet that need.
That actually gets to the second question is there any kind of functionality on the PAM that you can or cannot do that would be that would be needed in this space or something to look for?
Yeah, definitely. So I think what's great about the platform and what we've been developing over the past 10 years is that we've done a lot of different processes and we're bringing it over into the PAM. Some of those processes would be gripping the components, folding them. We've done welding small electrical components, done we can link to sterile filling, labeling of different types,
Okay,
tape
that's
application,
interesting.
and more.
So linking a sterile filling module to this, that would really create an all-in-one system, that could potentially within a clean room do a batch all the way out to um, the usable product.
Yes, and that is kind of what also led to the design of very easily to access all the different points and very easy to clean, and put it into a sterile environment with an ISO 5 and the laminar airflow. But
Yeah, I think that that's some really interesting space, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in our audience that would love to get in those technical details and understand that a little bit more. But at this time, I think we're going to look to kind of close things up. And again, Stephen, I want to thank you for joining us and sharing this information. Do you have any closing comments?
well, thank you so much for having us. Feel free to reach out to us at info.it@gfe.it or quiz.com if you want to learn more about how automation can fit into your operation.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have that information, that website posted on the screen. From my end, again, my name is AJ Lee from Coesia in North America here, and I really appreciate you all for joining us. And hopefully, we were able to kind of give some insights and some great knowledge into some new developments in this space. Thank you again to the hosts of this great conference, and we look forward to talking with you later.
Yeah, thank you all so much.